All right, let's take a look at our practice test for topic 4. Question number 1 states solve the system by graphing. And so what that asks us to do is look at each equation, graph them, and look for the place where the lines intersect. So we want to make sure they're both in slope-intercept form, which means y by itself, and they are, so we are ready to graph. So the first equation begins at the y-intercept of +2, so we plot our point there. Then we look at our slope, which we like written as a fraction, so 2 over 1, which tells me to rise 2, run 1. I'm going to do a couple points here. So if I go down 2, I'm going to go to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1, down 2 to the left 1, just to get myself a nice accurate picture of that line. All right, the second equation is in slope-intercept form, but it looks like it's missing some pieces. So first thing, if there's not a plus, we're going to say it's at a +0. And if there's nothing in front of the 1, or in front of the x, that means the slope is a 1 over 1. And so this one starts at 0 and rises 1, runs 1. It keeps popping up on me. So I've got a line that looks like this. Again, I'm going to keep coming down here, and it looks like I haven't done a super great job of drawing this, but it looks like my crossing down here is at -2, -2. And because I didn't do a great job of graphing, I'm going to go ahead and check my answer by plugging in a -2 for y and a -2 for x, and I'm going to check that out. So 2 times -2 is -4, plus 2. -4 plus 2 is -2, so I get an answer of -2 equals -2. Checks out in that first equation. In the second one, it was y equals x, so I'm going to say -2 equals -2. It checks out in that one, and so I can feel confident that this is the correct answer. Question 2 says solve the system using substitution. Substitution is our second method that we learned, and substitution works when we have one variable by itself. So when I look at this equation, I see the y is by itself. So I'm going to take this stuff and replace the y in the second equation. So I'm going to have -2x plus 3, and then instead of the y, I'm going to replace it with 2/3 x plus 2 is equal to 6. Now solving, I have all just variable of x's, so I'm going to distribute and eliminate my parentheses. So I've got -2x, and then 3 times 2/3 is positive 2x, and 3 times 2 is positive 6, is equal to 6. Combining like terms, -2x, positive 2x, those just cancel out, and I'm left with just an equation of 6 equals 6. Because I eliminated all variables, I know this is one of my special cases, either no solutions or many solutions. And so I take a look at that answer, and 6 equals 6 makes sense. So that tells me that this is a many solutions. All right. Question 3 says estimate the system or the solution of this system. Again, because they gave us a graph, we're looking for the name of the point where those two lines cross. And so I go over to x first. It looks like it went over 1 and up 1, 2, 3. So it looks like my solution would be the point 1, 3. Moving on to number 4, it says Luke sells toys for $10 each. His expenses are $5 per car plus $50 for tools. How many cars must he sell for his revenue to equal his expenses? So we want revenue to equal expenses. So I'm going to write two equations. I'm going to write a revenue equation and I'm going to write an expense equation. So revenue is the amount of money he makes. And so since it says he sells them for $10 each, we're going to say revenue is $10 per car. Expenses are $5 per car plus $50 for tools. So now that I want revenue to equal expenses, I'm just going to set those two equations equal. I'm going to say 10C is equal to 5C plus 50, and I'm going to work on solving for C, figuring out how many cars he needs to sell. So I'm going to get my C's together, and I'm going to do that by subtracting 5C from each side. So 10C minus 5C becomes 5C is equal to 50. Divide each side by 5, and I get C is equal to 10, meaning he needs to sell 10 cars in order to make that work. Number 5 says solve the system using elimination. So elimination means I need everything lined up and I need opposites. So I've got everything lined up and I have opposites too, negative 2x and positive 2x. So all I need to do is add to eliminate. Negative 2x plus 2x is eliminated. Negative 4y plus 3y becomes negative 1y, and negative 2 plus 0 becomes negative 2. To get y by itself, I'm now going to divide by negative 1, and I'm going to end up with an answer of y is equal to 2. I'm only halfway done with the problem. Now I need to find what x is, and so to do that, I'm going to plug 2 in. I can do that either to the top equation or the bottom equation. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go with top this time. So negative 2x minus 4 times 2, I'm replacing the y with 2 since that's what they told me, is equal to negative 2. Simplifying, I'm going to get negative 2x minus 8 is equal to negative 2. I'm going to add 8 to each side and end up with negative 2x is equal to 6. And then divide by 2, negative 2, and get x is equal to negative 3. So I have a solution of the ordered pair negative 3 comma 2. Remember, we want x's, then y's. So that's our solution. And we can always double check that in both of these equations. So negative 2 times negative 3 would be a positive 6. And negative 4 times 2 would be negative 8. And 6 minus 8 does equal negative 2, so it works in that equation. And the second equation, 2 times negative 3 would be negative 6, and 3 times 2 would be positive 6, and negative 6 plus positive 6 is equal to 0. So I've checked that. I feel confident with that answer. Moving on to question 6, it says, what is the solution of this system? Guys, this one says I can choose whatever method I want. So I look at this and I would not probably choose graphing because it's not in slope-intercept form. I would probably not choose substitution because in this case, there aren't any variables that are by themselves or almost by themselves. So I'm probably going to look at choosing elimination here. So I can work on eliminating the x's or the y's. And I'm going to choose this time to eliminate the y's because I already have opposite signs. 2 is positive, 3 is negative. So to do this, I'm going to multiply the whole top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 2 so that I can make those numbers be opposite. So 3 times 5x becomes 15x. 3 times 2y becomes 6y. And 3 times 9 is 27. Second equation, 2 times 4x becomes 8x. 2 times negative 3y becomes negative 6y. And 2 times 44 becomes 88. Now I've got my opposites in the 6 and negative 6y, and so I'm going to add to eliminate. So 15x plus 8 becomes 23x. 6y plus negative 6y is eliminated, and that's what we want to happen. And then 27 plus 88 becomes 115. Finally, finishing up, I'm going to divide each side by 23, and I end up with x being equal to 5. Now I'm going to plug that into one of the two equations. Again, it does not matter which one. I'm going to choose the top this time. So I'm going to have 5 times 5 plus 2y is equal to 9. So 5 times 5 is 25. That should say plus 2y is equal to 9. Subtracting 25, since my goal is to get that y by itself, I end up with 2y is equal to 9 minus 25, which is negative 16. Dividing by 2 on each side, I get y is equal to negative 8. So I have a solution of 5 comma negative 8. Again, just checking to be sure that that answer is correct. I can try 5 times 5 plus 2 times negative 8 and make sure I get an answer of 9. And then 4 times 5 minus 3 times negative 8 and make sure I get an answer of 44. So in the top case, I'd get 25 plus negative 16, and 25 minus 16 does in fact equal 9. And in the bottom equation, I'd get 20, and then negative 3 and negative 8 becomes positive 24, and 20 plus 24 does in fact equal 44. So again, I can feel confident with this answer. Number 7 says the price of 3 slices of pizza and 2 drinks is $37. The price of 2 slices of pizza and 3 drinks is $33. So how much does 1 drink cost? Well, in order to do this, the first thing I need to do is I need to write some equations. So the first statement tells me the first equation. It says 3 slices of pizza and 2 drinks equals $37. The second sentence tells me the second equation. It says 2 slices of pizza and 3 drinks is $33. Now, because of the 2 equations that I've written, I think this one is best solved through elimination. But let's be smart about what we eliminate. Because they're asking about how much 1 drink costs, it would make most sense to eliminate the pizza. So looking at the numbers in front of pizza, it looks like I need to multiply the top equation by 2 and the bottom equation by 3. However, that's only going to get me both of them to be 6p, and I need one of them to be negative 6p, so I'm going to put a negative in front of one of them. It doesn't matter which. All right, so multiplying through, I now get negative 6p minus 4d is equal to negative 2 times 37, which is negative 74. In the bottom equation, I'm going to take 3 times 2p, that's a positive 6p. 3 times 3d, that's a positive 9d. And 3 times 33, that's a 99. Then now, because I have opposites, I'm ready to add to eliminate, and I eliminate the pizza, and I'm left with 5d is equal to, and negative 74 plus 99 leaves me with 25. So dividing each side by 5, I now get d is equal to 5, which tells me a drink costs $5. Because this asks just for the cost of the drink, I can stop right there. I don't have to go and figure out how much a slice of pizza costs in this particular problem. All right, number 8 says, what is the solution to the system? Again, they don't tell me what method I have to use here, and so I can choose whatever method I want. Looking at this problem, to me, it looks like this is probably best suited for a substitution because I have one variable all by itself. So this means everywhere I see a y, I'm going to replace it with x plus 7. So I'm going to rewrite that first equation. X minus 1/2 is equal to negative 2. And instead of the y, I'm going to replace it with x plus 7 minus 6. Now I'm going to have to do some cleaning up here. And so I'm going to first distribute to get rid of my parentheses. So x minus 1/2 is equal to negative 2x minus 14 minus 6. Guys, there's lots of things I can do here to work on cleaning it up, but I'm going to start by getting like terms together on each side. So I still have the x minus 1/2 is equal to negative 2x, and then negative 14 and negative 6 would become negative 20. Next, I'm going to work on getting my x's together, and because I like to work with positives, I'm going to add 2x to each side. Now don't forget, this is a 1x, so 2x plus 1x becomes 3x minus 1/2 is equal to negative 20. Finally, I'm going to add the 1/2 over to the other side, and I end up with 3x is equal to negative 19.5 or negative 19.5. Dividing by 3, I get x is equal to negative 6.5. And I know sometimes we don't like fractions or decimals, and so this is definitely one I would want to check, but I'm going to continue and finish solving. So now I need to find the y. This time, the easiest equation is that second equation. So y is equal to x plus 7. I'm going to replace the x with negative 6.5. So negative 6.5 plus 7 becomes 0.5, and I get my y value of 0.5, my x value of negative 6.5, so my ordered pair would be negative 6.5, 0.5. Let me write that over here on my solution. And then this is definitely one I'm going to want to check. So top equation says negative 6.5 minus a half is equal to negative 2 times 0.5 minus 6. So negative 6.5 minus another half would become negative 7. And negative 2 times 0.5 would become negative 1 minus 6. That also becomes negative 7. So I'm feeling good about this one. Second equation, the y value is 0.5 is equal to negative 6.5 plus 7. And that is also true. So even though this seemed like a strange answer, it is the correct answer. All right, finishing up, question 9 says, which method is best for solving this system? Why did you choose that method? Justify your answer by completing the first step of the problem using the method you chose. Guys, this is really a problem that you could have several different answers. So it's going to be about your justification more than it is just about your answer. So first of all, I would probably eliminate the graphing method since neither of these is ready to graph. And graphing is one of those methods that maybe is not the most accurate. That's probably not the method I would choose here. So let's look at the other two methods and how we might say them. So if you said, I'm choosing substitution, your justification for why you're choosing substitution is the top equation could be solved for x or y easily. In other words, you can get an x by itself or a y by itself very quickly with the top equation. So justifying that with our first step is if I took that first equation, x plus y is equal to 8, and I worked on either getting the x or the y by itself. So to do that, I'm going to choose to subtract y from each side and say now that x is equal to 8 minus y. Now I have a variable by itself that I can now plug in to the second equation. So that's if I chose substitution. But guys, it would be just as easy to use elimination on this problem. And so if you said, I'm going to choose elimination, the reason you would say that is maybe both are in standard form. And you might also say, and an easy multiplication would get opposites. So in this case, if I looked at x plus y equals 8, I'd really like it to be either a negative 2x or a positive 4y. And so I could say I'm going to multiply that top equation by, let's say, a positive 4. In doing that, I end up with 4x plus 4y is equal to 32. And that now would get me the opposites on 4y that I could then add to eliminate. Again, guys, this problem is not asking you to solve the problem. It's asking you to think through which method you would choose, why you would choose that, and then show us the first step of that method. All right, finally, we've made it to question number 10. Question number 10 says, solve the following answer system and choose the correct response. Guys, this one looks a whole lot like that last one that we just did. So if you like substitution, you can use substitution on this one. If you like elimination, you can use the elimination method on this one. I personally like elimination a little bit more, and so I'm going to choose to multiply this top equation by 3 in order to get opposites. And so to do that, I'm going to have 3x plus 3y is equal to negative 36. And then the bottom equation was negative 3x minus 3y is equal to positive 36. When I go to add to eliminate, 3x and negative 3x is eliminated. 3y and negative 3y is also eliminated, so I'm left with 0 on the left side. And then negative 36 plus 36 is also eliminated, and I'm left with 0. When I end up with no variable, that tells me this is one of my special cases. And so if the answer makes sense, this is a mini solution. Because this answer does make sense, 0 does equal 0. This is a many solutions. Just as a reminder, if the problem ended up with something like 0 is equal to 12, that would be a no solution kind of problem because that doesn't make sense. 0 will not ever equal a number like 12. Guys, I hope that this helps you get going on preparing for your test. I hope all is going well, but if you've got some questions, make sure you're carving out some time to watch the videos and speak with Mr. Jordan or myself so that you can feel comfortable and confident as you walk into this final test of this year, 2020. What a year it's been. I appreciate each one of you and hope you're having a great time studying and that you're really understanding this unit. Again, reach out if you're not. We'll talk to you later.